The conference of the COP2 is second meeting of the Conference of the Parties to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change.
I'd like to thank our negotiators who are here in this room. Thank you for being humble enough to work with partners, for sharing your knowledge and resources with us, but also for taking in some of our recommendations and contributions to the important work that you're doing. I would like to thank the ministry for opening its doors for partners, for us to feel at home.
These meetings attracted international gatherings where countries discussed and negotiated actions to address climate change.
There was a specific measure of phasing down of unabated coal power, accelerating efforts towards zero-emission energy systems, transitioning away from fossil fuels, reducing non-CO2 emissions, especially methane, accelerating the reduction of emissions from road transport. So when you look at the actual document, you see that it gets into more detail to the extent that it starts to touch into some of the implementable actions.
Winnie Matsko, a climate and gender advocate, called for comprehensive reporting to track progress.
There are so many players in gender and climate change, in civil society, in the academia, in the ministry, but also one of the prominent activity we've done, we've carried out a gender and climate change vulnerability hotspot mapping, and it's a digital approach.
Makai Okure, who was among the negotiators, shed light on Uganda's proactive stance in climate mitigation efforts through partnerships.
2 categories of targets were said to be achieved by the parties by the year 2030. And these categories of targets, one category is the sectoral targets, which targets 7 sectors. And the second category of targets is the dimensional targets. The sectors that were considered for targets were water, secondly food and agriculture, number 3 health. Health here, people have been pushing health, so that's not an achievement. Number 4 ecosystem, biodiversity. Number 5 infrastructure and human settlement. Number 6 poverty and livelihood. And lastly, culture and livelihood.
Participants emphasized justice and fairness, taking into account each nation's unique circumstances while advocating for increased transparency in climate actions. Sudat Kaye, UBC News.